In fairy tales, marriages of kings and queens end with happily ever after. But in the medieval world, marriages were far from happy. They were weapons of war, deals of politics, cages for queens, and obsessions for kings. Tonight, we reveal the forbidden love affairs, betrayals, and dark secrets of medieval royal marriages. Stories so shocking, they shaped kingdoms, destroyed empires, and cost lives. This is not a love story. This is history's darkest marriage bed.
She was the most powerful woman of the 12th century, Eleanor of Aquitaine. At just 15, she inherited one of the wealthiest duchies in Europe. Soon after, she was married off to Louis VII of France. At first, it seemed like a fairy tale. A beautiful duchess becomes Queen of France. But Louis was a pious man, cold, timid, and deeply religious. Eleanor was fiery, ambitious, and bold. On the Second Crusade, Eleanor's marriage collapsed. Rumors spread through Europe, whispers that she had grown too close to her uncle, Prince Raymond of Antioch. Some even believed she had betrayed Louis on the battlefield by plotting against him. By 1152, Louis annulled the marriage, and just weeks later, Eleanor shocked the world. She remarried, this time to Henry Plantagenet, the future King Henry II of England. 2 marriages, 2 crowns, 1 woman. But her second marriage was no happier. When Henry began cheating on her, Eleanor raised her sons into open rebellion against him. A queen who had once united kingdoms now turned against her king. "If marriage was meant to be chains," Eleanor once said, "then I will not wear them silently."
Fast forward to the 16th century, where no king's love life was darker than Henry VIII of England. Henry wanted one thing, a son, an heir, and for that he was willing to sacrifice everything. His first wife, Catherine of Aragon, gave him a daughter, Mary, but no surviving sons. So Henry demanded a divorce, but the Pope refused. Henry's answer? He broke from the Catholic Church itself, founding the Church of England just so he could marry Anne Boleyn. Anne was clever, ambitious, and dangerously seductive. But when she too failed to give Henry a son, Henry accused her of treason, adultery, and even witchcraft. In 1536, she was executed, her head falling to the axe in the Tower of London. Henry married Jane Seymour next. At last, Jane gave him the son he wanted, Edward, but she died soon after childbirth. Then came Anne of Cleves, a political marriage Henry despised. He divorced her within months, calling her the Flanders Mare. Catherine Howard followed, young, beautiful, but accused of affairs. She too met the executioner's axe. Finally, Catherine Parr. She outlived him, but not without fear. 6 wives, 2 executed, 2 divorced, 1 dead in childbirth, 1 survived. Henry's marriages were not love stories. They were bloody contracts of obsession and death.
In 1308, a young French princess, Isabella of France, married Edward II of England. But instead of devotion, she found humiliation. Edward openly favored his male companions, first Piers Gaveston, then Hugh Despenser. Isabella, ignored and mocked, became the queen without a king. But Isabella would not suffer quietly. She found a lover of her own, Roger Mortimer. Together, they plotted rebellion. In 1326, Isabella and Mortimer invaded England. Edward was captured and deposed. Months later, he died in prison under mysterious and brutal circumstances. Some whispered he was murdered in a way too horrific to describe. Isabella, once the betrayed queen, became known as the she-wolf of France. Her marriage was not just broken, it became a weapon of vengeance.
Waited. In France, another woman's marriage was haunted by betrayal. Catherine de' Medici, married to Henry II of France, discovered early that she was not truly his queen. Henry's heart belonged to another woman, his mistress Diane de Poitiers. For years, Catherine was sidelined. She was queen in name, but Diane controlled Henry's heart, his court, and even his political decisions. But fate had its twist. When Henry II died in a jousting accident, Catherine stepped out from the shadows. She seized power as regent for her sons. And she ruled with cunning, manipulation, and, some whispered, poison.
Perhaps no royal marriage in history was darker than that of Juana of Castile, known as Juana la Loca, Juana the Mad. She married Philip the Handsome of Burgundy, a man whose beauty earned him his name, but whose faithlessness destroyed Juana's soul. Philip humiliated her with endless affairs. Juana's love turned into obsession. When he died suddenly, she refused to let his body go. For months, then years, Juana traveled with Philip's coffin, opening it to gaze upon him, kissing the corpse, consumed by madness. Her father, Ferdinand, declared her insane. Her son, Charles V, locked her away. But was she truly mad, or simply a woman whose love and betrayal was too much for a kingdom to endure? Her marriage became her prison, her love her downfall.
Not all marriages were tragic. Some were powerful. The union of Ferdinand of Aragon and Isabella of Castile united Spain. Together they completed the Reconquista, launched the Spanish Inquisition, and funded Christopher Columbus's voyage across the ocean. Their marriage created a global empire. But it also unleashed centuries of conquest, colonization, and bloodshed. Their union was not just a marriage, it was the beginning of modern Spain.
In the medieval world, a marriage was never just a bond between two people. It was a bargain, a weapon, a battlefield. Some queens became pawns, some became monsters, some loved too much, and some changed the world itself. These were the dark secrets of medieval royal marriages, where crowns weighed heavier than love, and happily ever after did not exist.